Here we are at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, surrounded by some of the fastest, sleekest, sexiest ships ever to be plasma forged from dicarbidium laminate, or whatever it is they actually make ships out of. And so, of course, Galactic Tour turns its attention to none other than the ships of MISC. That sound you just heard was the spectrum imploding with angry comments. But to those of you who doubt the beauty that resides in these flying steel sausages, I say to you that there is no manufacturer currently making ships half as interesting as these bastardized hybrids of human and Xi'an technology. While they may have the handling of your living room couch and cockpit visibility of a Min sunset, the bold design choices featured in the Reliant alone are enough to set my cold black heart beating again. MISC, like the way its ships handle cargo, is determined to drag us into the future. And whether you think the Xi'an are trustworthy or not, you have to admit, the bastards know how to make a ship. Make sure you catch my one-on-one sit-down with their lead xenotech engineer when Galactic Tour's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo returns.
Well, here we are again, and this is day 4 for the Aerospace Expo. Today we have MISC on the viewing stand. And of course, with MISC comes a lot of industrial chips and science. So as you can see in front of you, we have the Endeavour. That's one of the larger ships in Star Citizen. This, however, is not a combat ship. This is a true and 100% science ship. So what is the Endeavour for? Well, it's a ship that you're going to be able to explore. You can, for example, detach the front part here if you want to, in some constellation of it, or you can, for example, you can use the Olympic class if you want to make farming in space, and then you have the well, I don't know what this round thing is, but I know that it's for if you want to upgrade your weapons and gear, for example. You can really up the stats a bit. And then you have the Endeavour Hope class, for example. That's a hospital ship and stuff like that. So that's the Endeavour. It comes in different sizes and different prices. And if you like science and farming or stuff like that, then that's the ship for you. It's really big. It has a lot of modularity and got a lot of options for you to use. However, you're gonna need protection, so remember that. Next up we have the Freelancer, and that comes in a lot of different shapes as well. First out we have the MISC Freelancer, just the normal version that, well, doesn't have anything different. It's just the basic Freelancer, but still a very, very good ship. And a very good early multi-crew ship, because you can fly it alone, but you can also fly it with friends, since it has an aft turret and it has stations for crew to actually sit on to help you manage your shields and engine power and stuff like that. And of course we had a Freelancer there. That's truly an exploration ship. It's a Freelancer modified to just explore. Bigger fuel tanks, the same cargo space, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Next up we had a Freelancer Max, which is the cargo version of the Freelancer. This one is a bit larger. It's has a bit bigger engines just to manage to be able to fly around with all that cargo. And yeah, it's dropped a few of the missiles and weapons and stuff like that, just so it can really take in the extra cargo. And it's a good middle point between the Freelancer and the Constellation. So it's a really good ship if you want something early to just haul around in and you don't want a hull B, for example. We're gonna get to the hulls ships in just a moment here. And then of course we have the Freelancer MISC, which is the combat version of the Freelancer. This one is really duked out with a lot of missiles. It has a smaller cargo bay because it has more missiles, and it's just really there to be fighting. Let's not forget though, we have the starter version of the MISC lineup, and that's the Reliant Core. So the Reliant ship is a really nice little starter ship. It has pretty okay cargo space and will also let you do quite a lot of different things. For example, the starter version here is pretty much what we say it is. It's a starter version. It's the basic ship, good cargo, and I think it has room for 2 people. Don't quote me on that, I can't really remember. Then we have the Reliant Tana, which is the Skirmisher, which is the combat version of the ship. Then we have the Researcher, which is a science version of the Reliant. And of course we have the Mako, which is a TV news van ship, as you can see here. This means it has a camera connected on it on the wing tip, which lets you, well, let's say you want to do machinima or want to act as a news van, just want to fly around, record stuff with your camera, then you can sit there and connect your camera and just sit there. If you've played Arma, for example, then you will know that in some helicopters you have a camera mode for the gunner, where you can do recon and stuff like that. It could be similar to something like that. However, if your thing is to just haul stuff, really just trade cargo and stuff like that, then the whole series is your ship. This is a dedicated cargo transport ship. The Hull A is the smallest version. It's you can't get more basic than that. It doesn't have a lot of cargo space because it's so small. Then we have the Hull B, and the Hull B is actually starting to fight with the Freelancer when it comes to cargo space. And then we make the next jump to the Hull C, and all of a sudden we're past the Freelancer, we're past the Constellation, and we're actually past the Starfarer and the Caterpillar. The Hull C has around 4,000 to 5,000 units when it's fully deployed and completely full. As you can see on the ship, it looks really small, but that's also because if you look on the next one, if you look here on the Hull C, you see it's compact mode there. It's just when it doesn't have anything on it. If you look on Hull D and the Hull E, then you can see all these small wings deploying here, and on those, that's where all the cargo will actually attach. So that's the Hull C. It has around 4,000 to 5,000 cargo. The Hull D has around 20,000 cargo, and then we come to the Hull C that has, God knows how many. I think it's 50, 60 something thousand. But then again, remember, these ships are undefended and they're really fragile. So this is not a ship you want to fly around in if you're alone. Maybe the Hull C, maybe the Hull D, but not the Hull E. Just saying that. Then we have the Starfarer. Personally, I'm in love with this ship because it's gonna be a refueling ship. Gonna refuel other ships so they don't stop in the middle of quantum space or quantum. And then it's gonna be able to trade because it has a pretty big cargo hold. It's actually just below the Hull C, which makes it really good. And then it also has fuel tanks on the back there, which also let the ship go to gas giants and pick up gas, collect gas itself, so it can actually refuel itself, or if you want to sell the fuel. So it's a mining ship but for gas. And so let's go through it again. The Starfarer can refuel ships, it can collect the fuel and make it in the ship by collecting gas, or it can just trade. And the rumors also says that it's gonna be able to exchange the fuel tanks on the rear there to actually have cargo pods instead. And if that's true, then it's gonna get even bigger space. And so I just love the Starfarer in that opinion. But then again, I haven't seen the Hull C yet because it's not done yet. But personally, I'm always looking for a ship that can do more than one thing, at least when I start out the game. And then let's continue anyway. Next ship we have the Prospector, and the Prospector is the tiny little starter, or well, some say it's a starter, some say it isn't. It's a middle. I don't really know what to say. It's a good option if you want to do mining on your own. This is a 1-seater ship that's going to be able to mine on planets and mine on asteroids as well. However, it's not going to be able to eat an entire asteroid. However, it is going to be able to chew up a bit of the asteroid, bit by bit. And then it has some cargo pods here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but it has some cargo pods here on the side. And those pods are going to be ejectable for the hull variants to pick up. So that's also kind of neat function. And just like we had yesterday, we have the intro pack and the mega pack. So the intro pack is just a basic pack of, well, the Reliant and the Starfarer and the Freelancer. If you want something bigger, however, we have the mega pack, which has all of the MISC ships, which goes for pretty much the same price as a Javelin. So that depends what you want to. Also, apparently they changed the sale in the last minute here, and instead of getting the Hornet, we get the Saber. So as you can see, we have the Warbound version if you want to buy it with real money, so that's 175 USD. And as this last ship, it's 10 USD more expensive if you want to buy it with store credits. So let's just jump down here a quickie and we'll get to the Javelin and the Iris, and they're still there and we're just not gonna go through them again. And then we have tomorrow, which is gonna be Anvil Aerospace Day 5 and Saber Comet once again. So that's pretty much it for the MISC lineup for day 4, sorry. Day 4 is the MISC lineup. So in about 6 hours, it's going to be next time for the Anvil Aerospace, and where we change from MISC to Anvil. And that's going to be 1 p.m. PST or 10 p.m. if you're in Central European time. So last but not least, we're just gonna scroll down here to Speria Prowler once again, and as you can see here, it's still on 380 USD if you want to buy it with real money, and 425 if you want to buy it with store credits. Once again, this is Mackie, and I hope to see you tomorrow once again. Bye.